I bought this jersey.
Mate, I can cut the video.
Yeah.
No,
mate, you're going to have to be an extraordinaire after this.
I bought this jersey intending to wear it, for the playoffs here this season. And it came the day after Seahawks flipping lost. I'm like,
just sorting the win.
For this, like.
Go away, yeah. All right. This is episode 1 of the classroom. We've got myself, Hoop Teacher, got my man Corey from Disruptive, and we've got Wayne, Mr. Not Nice, over down in the 9 Seattle. All right, boys, what are we wearing today? Corey, what we got?
Got the retro Vince Carter Raptors jersey, 98-99 season.
Nice.
Really nice.
All right, Mr. Not Nice, tell us about it.
Well, I got this jersey intending to wear it for the playoffs this season, but my team lost, and then the jersey came.
It's still nice, though.
However, I got surprised.
Mate, it's a nice jersey.
Always got a surprise.
Oh, hello.
I see Modern Warfare in the background.
I know. Mate, all I ever see is him winning.
Okay. I fell in love with these shoes, yeah. When I first saw them, these are Patrick Ewing's. I don't know if you know yet, Patrick Ewing's shoe, but he made these yellow and black dandelions.
Are they the ones from
They
uni?
won about 5 times. Like,
they're not the original black and yellow from uni, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Are they?
Yeah.
They've survived.
I've kept them, man.
Mate, they're nice. Me, I'm rocking the rookie Steph Golden State. Decent. He only wore it 1 year. But they're Oakland now that they're in this year. Very similar style, but they're the Air Jordan ones.
Yeah.
It's a nicer fit. This one, being a rookie Steph, I'm taking it. Right, boys, first topic today we're going to look at MVP. And it's a long season, I get it. It is a long season. We're, 2 months in? So far, who we got? We go Disruptive, boy. What you got? Who you got now?
My first shout is obviously, as me and you spoke about before this, MVP value. So who's the most important player to their team? Who can carry that team potentially to us? As I said, to get an MVP, despite there being a finals MVP, you've still got to push your team through to a conference semi-final at least to be recognised. So for me, and that reason, based on last season and this so far, the fact he's averaging nearly a triple-double as well, Nikola Jokic. He's so important to that Nuggets team. He's so important. Him and Murray, without them, you're taking away your assists, you're taking away your scoring. But there is a case still for other people. But do I think Jokic can carry Nuggets to a conference semi-final, even maybe a conference final? Yeah, I believe he can.
Do you think the guy at his size doing what he's doing, is that a 72 game year this year? I don't. Can you see him doing it all year?
No, but it reminds me of you playing at uni.
I mean, Jokic. Yeah,
it reminds me of how you played at uni. Your basketball IQ was through the roof. His basketball IQ is unmatched.
I couldn't play 72 games.
I know you can't. And Mr. No Knees down here definitely can't.
10 games.
But can he do it? No, he's shown that he has to sit games. But then again, we're looking at Kawhi from last year, from the year before, and no one questioned when he sat games. And did Raptors ride his back for a season? Did they ride his back for a chip? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they had Siakam and stuff that were playing well. But
Jokic.
No, I'm saying for Raptors, when like you're saying, Jokic has to sit, so he can't be effective in every game.
He hasn't sat a game yet.
But that's what I'm saying. As you said, it's a long season. Can he do it for 72 games? We'll see. But to be fair, do I think he can carry his team to something big? Yes, and a few trades and maybe a bit of rotation in that squad, and they're a serious team. Like even their record, I think they're 4th at the moment.
Yeah. No, I like it. I'm a huge Jokic fan. I love the way the guy plays basketball is old
He's just so unathletic.
Mate, but it's beautiful to watch. My only thing is, and I'll get to my guy in a minute, and it doesn't carry. This is the con for that as well. MVP of the last 10, 15 years, like, has to have a story. We go from Westbrook's triple-double season. Like, funny enough, they didn't win enough games for me to say anyone like that should be an MVP. But he had a triple-double. That's a story. James Harden,
too much. Yeah,
that's James Harden's story. Giannis, the year he won it first, so 2 years ago when he won it first, I don't think he was the best player in the league. However, people got bored of giving it to LeBron. There was no one else you could, like, it weren't going to Durant, lead on to Golden State. It weren't going to Steph because of that.
It was an easy chip
someone
for
different.
For those three, four even, including Draymond and Clay.
Yeah,
that was an easy chip. Like that,
so
they're not carrying that team.
They couldn't be in that conversation, and that's why I think Giannis got that first one. Second one, I get it, but I still think the narrative has to be there. So for me, there isn't a narrative around Jokic. There is no story to sell. Like,
there's not anything interesting about him. He's just fundamentally amazing at basketball.
Like if you're gonna watch a Denver game, he's gonna get 10 assists from 2 of them full court lobs. Like,
the thing is as well, like, because he's not athletic, so his game's not pretty to watch. People like basketball, they love how he plays and stuff. But for like the common fan who's most likely going to be voting, his game ain't pretty to watch. Like, I love the beat-up game. I watched Nuggets game. I'm like, flipping out this guy. Like, he just like the way he's very like crafty, but like because he's so big, it's not pretty to watch.
He's got 7'4" wingspan or whatever it is.
The thing is, he's not a highlight player.
Yeah,
like, he ain't gonna get you 2-3 dunks, but his passing is unreal.
The assists.
Yeah,
the assists we do.
And that's what he's saying. Wayne, and you said basketball fans, proper basketball fans, see what Jokic does.
Exactly.
Those that log in for 2.5 minutes and check.
Unless you get basketball, you don't see the IQ. So you see, obviously, I've been watching basketball because of you now for about 7 years, and you see things happen, and you go, but for someone that's not a true fan, as Wayne said, a lot of people that vote aren't people that necessarily watch NBA highlights day in, day out. They don't sit there and follow the games. They don't see him and go superstar because he's overweight, he's unathletic, and he's got, as you said, he's got no narrative. There's no story. There's nothing wow about him. He just is good. People won't understand. People won't see it.
No, I agree. Mr. Not Nice, what are you saying then? Because I haven't heard your one yet. I knew what Rory was coming with.
Yeah, I was sitting on the fence with this one like quite a lot. I was just thinking who could be MVP, and I completely forgot this guy called Kevin Durant. Now he's having a quiet season. He's got the narrative straight after Achilles injury. He hasn't played with Kyrie. He hasn't played with James Harden. It's a complete 18 months out, complete different new team, and he's averaging 30 points. He's averaging
12
points
games, isn't it?
Right now, he's averaging 7.5 rebounds and 5 assists with 1.4 blocks. Like, that's his quiet season, straight after Achilles injury. And I don't see how he can't win this MVP this season, because let's be honest, he's very efficient. He's shooting like 45% from free and like 53% from the field and stuff like that. Yeah. And again, he's playing with Kyrie and James Harden, and he's doing that. Like, do you know how difficult it is?
But surely that's why he can't win it. No, but if he's playing with 2 dominant ball handlers, it's like it shows that he doesn't need the ball as much. He's playing 36 minutes in a thing, and he played. I think
Kyrie
he played 17 games. He played 20 games a season. Now 17 games a season. So it's like it's not exactly sitting out, and he's playing heavy minutes as well.
Yeah, he is. And his average, I think his average is like 30.7 or 31, something like that. He's averaging.
Yeah.
There's no denying. To me, he's the second best player in the world.
He's going to go surely down as one of the top 10 of all time. Like he's someone you look at and just go.
But the thing is, this season for me, like you're saying, ball dominant guards. You're right. James Harden, Kyrie didn't take the ball 99% of the time down the court. But at some point, and I'm not saying this is how he's getting all his points, but at some point, an extra defender is going to come help onto James Harden, Kyrie. The ball gets moved, KD's open. Like.
Think about, if as a coach, who are you going to leave open? Who would you rather leave open? KD, James Harden, or Kyrie open?
Mate, I'm leaving Kyrie open. I think his ego makes him take bad shots.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm leaving him open. But to say KD, like, mate, I agree. KD's having a hell of a year, but like for me, in the MVP talk has to be wins, and if they're getting wins. Solely not then it's not all because of KD. Like they're big games. We take the Clippers the other night. You take the Bucks when they beat them. Kyrie had more points. So for me, he he is a ball hog. But like that's why I can't give KD. I'd hate to see KD win MVP. You're right. The narrative's there. Tick, hell of a player. Like his figures are unreal. Mm-hmm. But for me, I get what you're saying, mate. I get it, but
if he takes Nick's spot, If you look at the big men, especially in the league at the moment, as I said about Jokic, same with Embiid. If Embiid takes a 76ers team to a conference semi-final or even a conference final, he's in with a serious talk. But it's the same with the Nets.
Yeah, but it's regular season, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, but even in regular season, to get that far, like you're looking at an MVP that's going to take the team that far. And the way I see it is can I see these players doing it? Can I see Embiid taking the 76ers anywhere? No. So for me, I can't put him personally in that MVP race.
And
that's he going to take Brooklyn there? Maybe.
You take KD out of that team. Are they going Eastern Conference Finals? Are they going there?
No,
I think they are. You're
not a chance.
Really?
Out of the East. If I'm building a team and I've got Kyrie and James Harden in the East.
By himself, though. Kyrie
can't
no, but with James Harden,
carry a team.
I know, but it's the same player. It's like they're two of the same player.
But like, let's put it this way: let's say they finish second in the East because Milwaukee love regular season. They hate playoffs, but they love regular season. Second in the East, they're going to play a 7th seed, which could be anyone from Atlanta Hawks. I'm taking Brooklyn with KD can sit that series. No one in Atlanta is being able to defend Kyrie and James Harden.
No,
they come up against, I don't know, let's say Boston, which I know me and you, Wayne, are Boston fans. That's a hell of a series, but I love Brown, I love Tatum. But at some point, there's going to be a man left over. Who are you putting on Kyrie? Maybe move Brown on him. You put Tatum and Harden. Yeah, KD's left open, but I still think they'll get through that series. And then KD comes in. Yeah, I think they do. That's why for me, KD ain't winning it.
You forget we've got Marcus Smart who can go on Kyrie as well. I mean, you can do rotations.
Yeah,
you've got some players you can put in there. Right.
Yeah, I get it.
I understand what you're saying, but Boston. If you said another team, yes, but Boston, the coach is too smart.
He is. The coach is Nash every day of the week.
Yeah, and also, if you look at the rotation, Boston's rotation is great.
Yeah,
like they're so well coached, serious rotation, and you do in. Don't get me wrong, defense wins you games, but at the same time, scoring more points than the other team wins you games. And can Brooklyn defend Tatum, Brown? Can they?
No, they probably can't. But when like KD, Kyrie, James Harden, they scored like 92 points the other night against the Clippers. So that's two of the best wing defenders, and they get 90 plus points.
Playoff defense is different when the game
is slow. It's massively different. I know that, but you take KD out of it, they still outscore James Harden, Kyrie, still outscore Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who are the two best wing defenders in the game. So you then got KD to just do what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, with KD in the team, I understand. Like, I've got them going into the conference finals and stuff. But without KD, Kyrie, and James Harden, I'm winning nothing. Nothing.
Fair. That's why it's a debate, innit? My pick.
If you said take Kyrie out of the team, they're still going. Take KD, Harden out of the team, they're still going up there. But because KD, he's 7 foot tall. If you take him out, they have no big men. They have DeAndre Jordan. The other big men they have, I don't even know their names.
Jeff Green's their next big guy to play.
Who's about 400 years old.
6'8" as well. It doesn't really make sense.
So my pick is before I tell you who this, I've got to tell you what my thinking was. So for me, the biggest part of MVP is the most valuable. Okay, what is the most valuable part of any team or any season is the wins. All right, and this guy, without him in their team, they're not winning as much. All right, it's a fact. They're not going anywhere without him in their team, and that's Draymond Green. Draymond Green is MVP so far because they're not in anywhere. If he sits out the rest of the year, they're not playing the playoffs. They're getting a lottery pick again. If he plays from now on to the end of the year, they're finishing top 4 in the West.
Steph doesn't drop 40 without Draymond.
He doesn't. He
doesn't do it. We've seen it even in their chip seasons. We've seen it.
Yeah, in their first 4 games, right? Their first 4 games, the ball didn't move. Steph brought it up, had to find his own shot. You get Draymond Green in there. Steph doesn't have to bring it out. They can set down screens where Wiggins and Oubre gets easy buckets as well because Draymond Green can pass the ball through anything. And then Steph comes off and hits 3. Steph is nuts about Draymond Green.
Hear me out. Okay, I hear your take on this most valuable player and stuff around. but he's not the most valuable in his own team, first of all.
There's
And
no Steph without Draymond.
Hear me out. Here's his averages right now this season. 5 points. 5.1 total rebounds. 7.1 assists. His PER is 8.8. Right. His field goal from three, 19%. His free throw, 73.9, which is okay. His field goal, 34.7. That's your MVP.
That's my MVP because you look at those first 4 games. That's it. Box scores mean anything, right? We look at the best box scores in the bubble, in the NBA bubble. Who was it? TJ Warren of the Indiana Pacers. He's not like exactly what is he doing now? Box scores mean nothing. Draymond Green. I watched the game last night. Golden State versus Dallas. Right? He picked up Luka. So he went, yeah, fine, I'll take Luka. So he's picking up him. He then picked up Porzingis when he came in. Cool, I'll take Porzingis. He then got 15 assists, and they score 140 points. Steph didn't even score the most in that team. He makes Oubre better. So that's a hell of a
Oubre dropped 40
trade
last night, didn't he?
Big 99% of it because Draymond Green found him. Andrew Wiggins Wiggins is looking a good player because he's got a decent defender next to him now, which means he can defend and he's getting the ball in a decent position because of Draymond Green. And Steph Curry is the best player in that team. I'm not denying that, but the most valuable to that team, Draymond Green. I go back to he's been the most valuable player on that team for about 5 years now. 2016, LeBron wins that down 3-1, they win it. Game 6, Draymond Green gets suspended Game 5, he gets suspended, Draymond Green, misses Game 6. If he plays Game 6, they win that series and they close it out and there's no 3-1 comeback.
Okay, Tom, would you rather you're owner of the NBA team, yeah? Do you want Draymond Green as your best player or do you want Steph Curry as your best player? Let's say
every
you have
day,
to trade one.
I'm taking Steph Curry, but if I want my most valuable
and he's wearing a Curry
player,
jersey as well, by the way. He's sitting there wearing a Curry jersey. Like
my most valuable player has to be Draymond Green because look, Golden State spent last year doing nothing and knowing they're going to get a good pick. James Wiseman, hell of a player, got great potential. Not having the best, he's not having great numbers at the moment. But if you think he played 2 college games, then didn't have a preseason, he's a good player. You then say James Wiseman is not. If let's take Draymond Green out of that team, James Wiseman is not touching the ball unless it's a rebound to pass to Steph Curry. Draymond Green, is giving the ball to James Wiseman. Draymond Green is helping James Wiseman a better defender. Draymond Green could be their coach. And I love Steve Kerr. Draymond Green is the most valuable player valuable piece Golden State have.
We have the same opinions on a player, other than the player I put forward is averaging a triple-double. He does the same things.
No, because you take him out of Denver, he's their best player. That's not the argument. Jokic is Denver's best player. Their most valuable player is Jamal Murray. Go back to the bubble. Okay, Utah Jazz series.
One knee, Jamal Murray still was balling out, but would it have been 4-1? Would it have finished 4-1 if he was?
Guys, okay.
And
so
not the best player.
Most valuable. Okay, cool. Take out Jokic. Is Murray doing the same thing? And then take out Murray. Because I'm telling you, Jokic will get them games won. Murray will score a load of points and not get the game won.
I get what you're saying. That
because
Jokic is a different breed.
Points are good, but if you can get rebounds and assists, I mean, it's worth more.
Draymond's playing less than 30 minutes a game. I get that. Yeah. He's not fit enough yet. He's playing less than 30 minutes.
They've got a big rotation as well of bigs.
Yeah.
Of backcourt, they've got a good rotation. They've got big players.
They're not getting to the playoffs without Draymond Green, and then definitely not getting through a series without Draymond Green. Because what he does all over the court is better than anyone in that Golden State team. And that's why I can
see them getting seeded this year. I can see them getting seeded because they're
I'm going to say it now, top 4.
Yeah, well, in the MVP race?
No, Golden State top 4 in the West.
Okay. Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Mavericks. Yeah.
See, I don't know,
Last night, Warriors took the mick out of the Mavericks.
It's 72 games a season, Tom.
Yeah,
it's not
I know, And an NBA series is 7 games. I get that. And the NBA works always. You got to look. The team with the best player wins the series 99% of the time. All right. If you go through it, Curry's the best player in that series. Doncic is a very close second to that. I'm still taking Draymond Green over Porzingis.
I don't get Porzingis, man. I don't understand the player.
No, do I? So
I don't
in my eyes, I'm taking Golden State above Dallas. Mate, hell of a series. I'd love to watch that in 7. But
that's one of my playoff games. I've got them seeded against each other. I think.
Yeah.
That could be a 4-5. Mavs in 4.
I'm taking it. I'm taking Golden State 4th. I'm going to write it down and we'll look back and I'm telling you, they're going 4th.
Okay. All right. I like that.
I'm saying 5 to 8. I'm saying 5.
I'm saying 5 to 8 as well, but
you're saying 5 to 8.
Because you got to think of Jazz. Utah Jazz got the best record right now.
Honestly, that team stresses me out. Actually, that's another thing I was going to say. Rudy Gobert has been slept on. He's averaging a double-double, obviously, because he gets like 412 rebounds a game. But I don't like him. Don't get me wrong. I watch Rudy Gobert play and I'm like...
What?
For me, someone that big who doesn't have a jump shot like KD, Dirk, anyone like that should never be in the MVP talk ever.
But there's no line on his stats. Like he is seriously important to that team as well. And as we talk about
what Rudy Gobert does for his job, he does it the best.
Yeah.
To get rebounds,
I get
defense. He just does it the best, man.
And he fights like
I've just realised, as much as I've just been talking about Draymond Green being MVP, there's one person I have definitely missed, and he has a narrative. He's the best player on his team is LeBron James.
I'm just waiting for someone to say it. Someone's got to say it.
As much as I'm saying Draymond Green, I don't know how anyone can really look past LeBron James.
I understand. I hear you. I'm with you. But he's having a quiet season so far, man.
See, I knew he was going to say this, and I said to you earlier, he's going to disagree with this. And despite everything I've said, LeBron James is the MVP. He just is.
Yeah, he just is.
He just is.
He ticks every box.
I hear you.
He just does.
I'm with you. If you said he's MVP, I have no debate on it. But he's having a quiet season. You can't give it to him. Not yet, man.
18 years league. He's like 104. Like he's unreal.
He's 36 now, isn't he?
Yeah, joke.
He's old as hell, man.
The geezer gets up like he's 15. Like it's a joke. It's a joke.
So
but he's doing it week in, week out. He's not really been sat either. He's still playing minutes. 25
points, 7 assists, 7.7 assists, and 7.8 rebounds.
So what we're saying, 25, 8 and 8. And that's a quiet season. That's quiet compared to him who was averaging 27, 11 and 10 last year. Last year he averaged like 27, 11 and 10. But what, 20 games in? Watch his averages go up.
He's got quite a season so far. That's why I can't put him in the talk right now, man.
Yeah. Right now, I get it. Right now, we're saying who we are, but I think we all know that come the end of the year, if it's him lifting that trophy, we go, it's probably
fair enough. But the thing is, I can see him doing it again. I can see him not winning MVP and going on and winning finals MVP, and everyone going, well, to be fair, he probably should have won MVP as well, but everyone's bored of voting for LeBron James.
Yeah, that's good. That's the only thing against him. All right, boys, we sort of touched on it a bit, and I know we've got a lot to talk on this bit, but so that was our MVP talk. We're moving on to the big story of the NBA. And each week we'll change it. We'll find one from the week and we'll chat about it prior. But it has to be the James Harden trade. What's your view? We'll go Wayne first. What's your view, boy?
See, I wrote a little bit, so I mind myself for this. I like the trade. I like the trade. And here's why. I know I like it and I don't like it. I'll give you the negative and the benefits. I like the trade because if you see how they're playing since James Harden's, see James Harden's attitude to it. Like he's now upped his he's upped his assists. He
wanted that trade. Trade.
Yeah, since he come in, he's averaging 11 assists since he's been in the Brooklyn Nets now. Right, and obviously his shots gone down, his points went down, but you can see he's brought in. Like he's given the system Kyrie and KD and the rest of the team and stuff like that. Yeah, everyone knows he can score and stuff like that. So that's why
he stepped up his D as well. His D has really stepped up.
He's being selfless, which is like a good sign and stuff like that. Yeah.
Sign of a great player. He was excellent at Houston, but was he ever going to be a great?
And I believe like the reason why is because like he knows the value of that team chemistry. He can easily say, "No, I want the ball," but when it comes playoffs time, when it comes to March, let's say, like that's when chemistry really matters the most. That's where you really need someone like him. So if he's like trying to be selfish now and stuff like that, like it's like it can work negatively later on and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I believe like he's looking ahead basically and saying I need to do this now. So like to benefit the team and stuff like that. And like
is it the trade that's done that for him?
Yeah.
Is it the trade that's done that and the players he's got around him, or is that just his attitude has changed?
I think his attitude. No, the thing is, he's been unselfish. Even in Houston Rockets and stuff, he's like he can pass the ball, but now he's like he's not taking as much shots and stuff like that, and he knows
like
he's not going to get the ball as much as well.
I watched the other day. He didn't take a shot in the first quarter. Like that's unheard of.
Yeah, that's not Harden-esque, is it?
No. And the thing is, here's the negative though. I think their biggest loss is Jared Allen.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of Jared Allen.
I'm saying this team. Top starting five fantastic, like, but then I'm saying what I'm worried about when DeAndre Jordan gets off the court, who's guarding, who's starting center. You can put KD on the 5, which is fine. You can have a really great team, great team, but he's gonna be pounding in there, getting fined for rebounds, and then later on in the game and stuff, he's gonna be tired and stuff.
Because what the crazy idea is playing small ball, but with KD in your team, which doesn't make any sense because he's a 6'11", but he's basically fucking 7'8". Like,
so for me,
7 foot of a 7'4" wingspan. Like, but he's a small ball player, which is crazy.
I agree, Wayne. I agree. I actually like the trade itself for Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn get a lot from James Harden. I agree with you. Jarrett Allen losing him's huge. Losing Karis LeVert, huge. Because actually now with no Dinwiddie, they haven't got a bench. But my biggest issue is actually the team itself. And I agree with you. Defensively, they are so poor. Yeah, James Harden stepped up. I don't think he stepped up his defense. I think they've realised they need it. Yeah, I think they've realised James Harden just is a good defender. That's how bad everyone else in the Brooklyn Nets are at defending. Because, like, we look at it and we spoke about the other team in my eyes, that the top 4 teams in the East, Boston Celtics, I think
quite well.
Brooklyn can match up. I think Brooklyn can match up well against them because of like the players sort of match up well. You then go Giannis in the Milwaukee Bucks. Again, they match up well because you can go. I think KD can take Giannis, or Jeff Green comes on to whatever. I think the game the other week they played DeAndre Jordan on Giannis and it worked. But the biggest issue is the Philadelphia 76ers. When they have Joel Embiid, who's going to the line like 22 times a game. Or
he dropped 37 last night and didn't even have a single free. So he must be at the line.
At some point, DeAndre Jordan's going to run out of fouls to play against Joel Embiid. Who do you put onto him next?
He's getting old as well. DeAndre Jordan's quite old now as well. Like,
he hasn't got the foot speed. So I love the trade. I think getting James Harden is huge. However, it's ruined so much depth, so much what they had. Yeah. And actually, what they gained from James Harden, they then lost. And the stat that's going around the league is Houston Rockets now, prior to Harden's trade, were one of the worst defensive teams. Now, since the James Harden trade, the best defensive team. And I'm not saying that's James Harden itself. I just think it's the buy-in. You have to. And we all know, like, I'm not an offensive player. Wayne, you are. When you can't do both at a high level, you can't do both at a high level all year. At some point, you've got to take a break. And defense, when you're a player like James Harden, defense is that break time. And unfortunately, Kyrie's the same. And that team defensively, I again watched the Clippers game. I know they beat them in the end, and I know they outscored them. I just think the Clippers went a bit cold. But all they did was a little screen. They knew they were going to switch, and they posted Kyrie up. In my eyes, it's a great trade. Kyrie should have gone the other way. Kyrie, in my eyes, is going the other way.
James Harden can play D. Kyrie can't play D. Even no matter how hard he tries. That's the thing.
As much as it's a great trade, I wouldn't have got rid of Allen. I'd have got rid of Kyrie. Kyrie, I'd have shipped him off wherever it would have meant, because James Harden gets the ball more.
And you're keeping a roster as well. You're keeping a roster and some depth.
Long term,
you still have a defender.
Long term, Kyrie would have been a better move to move. But
this is what I wanted to touch on as well, like with the trades in the long term.
So,
Corey, what are you saying about it?
So, as what Wayne just touched on there, like, this is a bit of a big statement, but as a franchise, that trade has absolutely destroyed any form of long-term goal in that franchise.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn
Again.
Nets were rebuilding. Again, there we go. They were rebuilding. They were doing something, and they were still trash. Don't get me wrong, but they were picking up players. Like they had Kyrie, they had DeAndre. Dinwiddie was playing well, obviously, before his injury. Like they were picking up these players. Jarrett Allen was emerging as a big player in the league. And now you look at it and go, well, they've got none of that. They've got two all-stars. They've got two all-stars that are 30 plus, and they've got no picks for the next 5-6 years.
They've done it again. They've done is they've risked everything to go, right, how many all-stars can we get? Let's put as many all-stars in one team as we can and just hope. Have they fixed any problems? No. Have they signed anyone who's ultimately defensively amazing? Or not amazing necessarily, but someone who they can defensively look at and go, right, when it really hits the fan, he's going to come on and he's going to play 10 minutes inside and he's going to work and he's going to get us boards and he's going to defend, he's going to block shots, he's going to stop cuts. They haven't got that player.
And
offensively, they're a powerhouse. And you go back to looking at the Golden State team with KD in, you had KD, Steph, and Clay, and they're all knocked down, hugely leave open. Go on, Draymond Green. Defend? Yeah, Draymond Green. There we go. But for me, like Detroit, they've risked everything. They've risked the next 10 years of Brooklyn Nets basketball on signing a powerhouse team, and they've not got that. Like even their starting five isn't necessarily that competitive. They've got a big three, DeAndre. Yeah, but I'm saying, as you said, it's a 72-game season, right? Kyrie, we know is injury prone, and Kyrie goes off his game, right?
And just goes off.
Yeah, he goes off somewhere. He just goes off. You know Harden's going to play, right? You know Harden's going to play, but he's 31 and he's fat, right? Yeah, and then you look at KD. Then you look at KD. Is all it takes is one ankle tweak. Say Kyrie has an off stint. You know he does it. He can go 15 games where his head's not in it and he's not in the right place, or he's injured, or something's happened. If Kyrie goes and then KD follows suit with even a little injury, can they afford to have those two out for 4 to 5 weeks and still hit playoffs? And that's something that can happen. That's something that is extremely feasible to happen to that team. One big injury and their season's ruined, and they've got nothing for 10 years.
The biggest issue, and again, we not played at that level, so we're talking about it from our point. Playing at university together, the easiest thing to do is score points. The hardest thing to do is to coach a team to defend. Right? Yeah. Steve Nash, no. I'm sorry. He will be in the talk for best coach of the year, whatever.
No, he won't.
He's not picking that team. He's not I could walk into that team and go, well, I know 3 of my starters. The rotations are whoever's fit at that time, really, because now they've got no Dinwiddie, they've got nothing coming off the bench. But the problem is, we go Boston again. Jason Tate and Jaylen Brown going off in one game against Brooklyn. I don't see them calling a timeout and Steve Nash working a defense out to stop that. He's a hell of a brain, hell of a guy. And I imagine, offensively, he's helped a lot. But defensively, what is he going to give you as a coach? I don't get it. It's not going to help come playoff time, because we all know how teams defend against Giannis. We get that. You build a wall, you go, we're going to make jump shots. Will he build a defense to beat Joel Embiid? No.
He can't.
And that is the question.
He's not got the setup for it.
And he hasn't got. But the fact is, even the way that 76ers team's built, you still look at that team and you go, okay, yeah, Embiid's their all-star, Embiid's their main man. But you've still got people like Ben Simmons, who's an outrageous passer of the ball. He's athletic as anything. He will, if you put all of your attention on Embiid and you put 2 players on him closing down, albeit, you're not going to have Ben Simmons there to make the jump shot, but you still got JJ Redick who's making minutes. Danny Green and Steph Curry, they got.
There we go.
Danny Green, Steph
exactly.
Curry.
They're all 3 knockdown shooters, and I know Danny Green gets ripped because of whatever, but he's got 3 rings. He's a shooter.
You're not missing a vital thing as well, man. They got Doc Rivers as a coach.
Yeah, exactly. I trust him. I do not trust Steve Nash to get that team out of whatever troubles they're in.
Because their trouble, I think most of their trouble is going to come chemistry-wise and rotation-wise. And
longevity is going to be a
the
problem for
players
them.
and stuff, when it comes like now to playoffs, it's just a different ball game and stuff, and you can see like there's less plays run, but there's more plays at the same time.
But the
So,
the thing is, with
there's
that
game time
chemistry,
run.
yeah,
There's
that
game
chemistry,
time, that game time.
that chemistry is easily fixed on offensive end. You put James Harden in the pick and roll. That's their chemistry fixed on offense. Defensively, there is no chemistry there, and that's going to be their downfall. They don't have the calls, and DeAndre Jordan is not the defensive guy he was of 6-7 years ago
When he was
where
at
he was
Clippers
in the
with a
Clippers.
big three. Yeah.
Once it's in foul trouble, it's over.
Yeah, and that's the problem. For me, their biggest issue, the trade is a great trade of getting James Harden. But when you break it down, they have gained a 30-point scorer, unbelievable offensive talent, but they have lost young talent, LeVert, Allen, who are going to be very good players in this league. They've lost depth, and they've lost defensive skills. They've lost
like they made this trade, kind of like we have to get him, and then we'll figure it out later. Because like if we miss this now, and another team gets him,
but that's just Brooklyn's like ideology on basketball. Yeah. It's like well, what can we do now that will just ride it out for a bit? Or instead, they've gone this time. What can we do now that's definitely not going to fail? What's going to win? What are we going? Yeah, there we go. Let's acquire James Harden, but let's just trade away anything else we've got to build a franchise. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Like that franchise for the next 2 years is great.
They got a good deal for James Harden.
Ooh, yeah, technically, but it will harm them in the future. Of
course.
When you gave up no All-Stars, you gave no All-Stars up for James Harden. You gave up no scoring champs, no All-NBAs. You gave up none of that.
None of it
for James Harden, which they have. And
they lost four players.
When you look at actually, they gave up those players, and we're saying potential-wise they've gotten there. They gave up depth. Players. They gave up defense. Yeah, they gave up good players. I think we all understand, and we're looking at it more as they gave up more of the franchise than what they should have. They gave up more of what the team should be.
Yeah,
like that team's not built to win.
They gave up a roster.
Over the next
they
5
gave up
years.
a roster to have a team, but past that team, they've got nothing for the future.
Yeah,
but then
again, anyway. If we sit now and we have this conversation in April time, and we go, yeah, but they got to Eastern Conference Finals. Do we sit here and then go, they were unlucky, they haven't been there in years, that was a good trade?
Yeah,
but I can't see anything other than a ring for that next team being good. And even if they get a ring, they've still got no hope from the next. KD's going to look. He's had serious injury problems the whole way through his career. It's always been something. It's always been his knee, his ankle, his ligaments. There's always been something. Is KD going to be balling out at LeBron at 36? Like LeBron at 36? No chance.
Yeah, and Wayne, you said it. You're right. Playoff series is 7-8 man rotation. You're completely you have to know your guys per series for that series. You look at Lakers when
everything's done on matchups. Who can guard who can outscore who? It's done on matchups.
But it's done on matchups. But like I said, the Lakers, they had Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, and then guess what? In the finals against Bam, they realized those two couldn't be that guy. So they played Marcus Morris there, who hadn't started all year. You then look at this Brooklyn Nets team, and their rotation is going to be 8 men, 1 big. And at some point, they're going to come up against either a Giannis or a Joel Embiid. And they're not stopping that.
And watch KD have to play big ball and get bullied inside. Like he's not going to do it, is he? Like,
no. Yeah, but
so their rotation isn't big enough. Their rotation is.
And also, you said there about like Morris coming in and playing that game, but you said it yourself earlier. That's coaching. Is Nash going to make that call?
No,
is Nash going to go? You're guarding him. You're going to take the dirty work. Who's he going to say it to? DeAndre. Who else has he got? Oh, by the way, Harden, you're going to have to play better defensively than you ever played. Oh, by the way, KD, when DeAndre's off, you're going to have to rotate in and play bully ball. Well, he's going to get beaten up.
And that's what I mean. Their problem is going to come when it gets to Joel and Giannis. And don't even get me started. If they meet LeBron and AD in the finals, I can't see LeBron's going to post AD up every time on whoever they got on him. Yeah. So the trades are right.
See if that happens. Okay, let's say KD guards LeBron. Who's guarding AD?
Mate,
let's say
no one.
KD guards AD. Who's guarding LeBron?
No.
But you can also say who's gone in James Harden and Kyrie. But you know,
again,
we've seen in the finals before. Like all LeBron's got to do is do a pick and roll with Kyrie Irving, and then he's gonna have Kyrie on him, and from there, it's just.
But the thing you say about who's guarding James Harden, who's guarding Kyrie Irving, the league at the moment, most teams are guard or small forward heavy. Okay, so you take one of the weakest teams. I'm not going to call out Washington. We know we can't call out Washington here.
Oh my God.
We're not going to do that. Sorry, Martin. But let's take Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta Hawks. Their team quite small. They got Trae Young. They got that Herter, Kevin Herter. They got Rajon coming off the bench. They got Cam Reddish. I would back those four. They've got take away Trae Young. He's important to that. Those three other players have got 5 fouls to go against James Harden and Kyrie Irving. So most teams have those players. Teams don't have bigs to throw to give away fouls.
No. The thing is with Kyrie and James Harden, like they get to the line. They're the specialists at that song. So can you afford to keep fouling them like that, and get your whole team fouls?
Well, yeah, I would take James Harden taking 2 shots to get that free throw line, then taking a 3 and hitting a 3. Mathematically, at some point, I'd happily have him take more free throws than he does there. Granted, you don't run out of players, but most teams have guards.
You say this
is guards to throw at them.
This is why Lakers were so.
Exactly.
This is why Lakers were so effective last year. Like their big man rotation was ridiculous. Like Dwight Howard, right? Fair enough. Okay, it took him till 36 to win a ring, but the man deserved the ring.
Yeah,
outrageous.
What he did.
Even Javon McGee, the geezer's got a ring. Yeah, okay, fair enough. He used to be Shaq 10 a lot. Like everyone absolutely ripped him. But the geezer had a good season last year, and he started a lot of games as well.
Yeah. Against Jokic, they started Dwight Howard or Javon. They started him, and they made sure he was on him the whole time.
Yeah, and Dwight Howard bullied him, and Jokic got fouled out.
They put a big heavy guy on him, and then what? The next series, what did they do? Marcus Morris.
In that playoff series, they didn't outsmart Jokic, but he just didn't have anything else. Murray was injured, so Jokic had to defend. He had to do everything. But then, who would you rather pick up? Like Javon McGee comes on, 7-footer, strong, good in the post, right? Yeah, fair enough. He's not a good shooter or anything like that, but you know that he's going to give you a problem. Then you rotate him. Okay, fine. Now you can have Dwight Howard, and you go, Jesus. Oh, by the way, now AD's stepping up to 5. We're playing small ball, but he's coming at 5.
Yeah.
And you think, I don't want to play anymore.
For me, Brooklyn right now need to go.
They don't have that, do they?
A big. They need to get one more big who will happily sit there. There's not many about like that, because the one that I think would suit them really well is Andre Drummond. But the problem is, Andre Drummond thinks he's better than what he actually is.
It winds me up so much.
Like, don't pass the ball. Just go out there, block. Because there's even players like Nerlens Noel playing at New York, playing unbelievable coming off the bench and understanding you're a big coming off the bench. You've got to pick up fouls. You've got to get boards. You've got to do dirty work. After DeAndre Jordan goes out, they've got no one. So I really think they're going to struggle when the East is the East is so big, heavy. It's so big players.
A quick, strong, good defender that you've not got anyone like that.
No.
Do you know what their perfect fit I think would be for someone that is big, strong, and fights? Would be someone like AD. They need someone with that skill set. There's someone who's big, who's strong, and does as much offensively as defensively. Maybe more on the defense side. So you could go for someone that's got less of ability.
There's not enough balls passing around.
True. But
so we sort of, I agree. I think we're all at a very similar point with this. That the trade's not bad, and what they're doing could be brilliant. It could be the potential. The
Nets haven't been big for years. If this flops and then they spend the next 6 seasons, 7 seasons as bottom seed getting lottery picks, is it going to be that bad? No, because they're trash anyway. So they're now just a slightly polished trash that hopefully can do well for a couple of seasons. I would like to see him do well.
Yeah. All right, boys, we're coming to the end really now. But sort of, I asked you guys to have a look at like a game that we're going to watch this week, and we're going to preview now, and we'll talk about next time. I'll go ahead with mine. For me, the game of the week for me to watch is Boston at Phoenix on Sunday. You got Brown, Tatum, you got Chris Paul, who's leading the league like I think that's true. I need to double check it. He's leading the league in assists. The guy is doing bits there. He's making Ayton better. He's making Devin Booker better. To me, that's a hell of a matchup. I would love to see. I know Smart's out at the moment, but I think Kemba fits well against Chris Paul. I think you move Brown onto Booker. That's a nice little fit. I think Phoenix have enough people to put at Tatum. They're not going to stop Tatum because he, to me, is a walking 25-plus man. They're going to put it on it. That, to me, is a decent. Like, that's my preview for this week. That's a hell of a game. Go watch it. Corey, what are you saying for yours?
So actually, funny enough, mostly what we've spoken about tonight is that whole Embiid up against Nets. Have you gone as well? Have you gone Nets Philly?
We'll both preview it. Go.
That's a big game. It's obviously what we've spoken about a lot tonight. It's, can they physically stop Embiid? Are they physically going to stop Embiid? And can Philly defend Harden, stop him dropping 30? Can they defend KD, stop him dropping 30? Can they stop Kyrie, stop him getting to the line, stop him driving to the bucket? I don't think so.
I'm keeping a close eye on what Steve Nash does as a coach and what Doc Rivers does, because it's now it will show an indicator what's going to happen in the playoffs this game.
Yeah, because we know it's going to be a seeded game. We all know it's going to be a seeded game.
You're going to see what each coach is exploiting and stuff like that, and it's going to be quite interesting because, as you literally just said, we've all been talking about this whole time, how they're going to play Embiid, and literally I'm going to be focused on Brooklyn Nets and see how they're going to play Embiid. Because if they just go out there and say, okay, let's going to try to outscore you, they're going to lose. Because Doc Rivers is too smart. He's too smart of a coach here to let a team just outscore him.
And I look at the way the Philly are built. I'm a huge fan of this guy. I back Ben Simmons guarding one of those three out of the game. And I'm saying that. The downfall they don't have those other tough guys. Seth Curry, Danny Green are decent defenders, but they're not big enough. So I imagine it going this way. I imagine Seth Curry going around following Kyrie. I imagine Danny Green going on to James Harden, because I think his length, for someone who's that quick, his length's right. And I think Ben Simmons has got a hell of a matchup with KD. I think that's a decent matchup to watch.
Who what are you calling it for that game?
Do you know what? I'm gonna go Philly, because at the moment I can't see Doc Rivers not being smart enough to get Joel Embiid 40+ points. I don't know how I don't know how they're going to stop Joel Embiid.
I'm throwing it out there. Big players make big plays in big games. I reckon Nets are going to do it.
Ideas are amazing, right?
And despite everything I've just said, and everything I've said about the Brooklyn Nets, and how I still think Philly will do them in the playoffs. And in the 7-game series, I reckon Philly will do Brooklyn. But for this game, I reckon Embiid is going to outscore the top scorer of Nets.
Think so.
I reckon he's going to drop 30+ and have a strong game. But I can see Nets doing it. I can see a big game coming from one of their big three.
I see 3 people 20+ points. Yeah, in the Nets. And I see one at least having more than 30. So it's kind of like,
you're saying KD or Harden going for 35.
Pick your points. Who do you want us to beat? Who do you want to beat you today? Do you want KD, Kyrie, or Harden? So
I'm ruling out Kyrie.
Yeah, I'm putting.
I don't like it.
I think KD and Kyrie, they're gonna have +30+. I'm moving on the line.
I liked Kyrie at Cleveland. Don't like him at Nets.
Yeah, all right. We've gone 2 for the Nets, 1 for Philly. What's your take on Boston Phoenix and who you going? Wayne, I can already imagine who you going.
We're struggling right now, Tom. I'm not gonna lie to you. In our game, we're struggling. We need some help.
Yeah, it's not easy. I agree. Yeah, it's not easy.
I'm gonna go Boston, obviously, but we're struggling. Yeah. I actually got a topic in hand. If you don't mind me, after I'll pick your thing.
Yeah, I'm going Boston.
I'm backing Boston. There's just too much on the court.
Yeah. Wayne, what's your topic then, boy?
It's not really a topic here, but it's kind of like what I want to see.
Yeah.
And I think you like this. What would you think if Boston? Because we need a big. Let's be honest.
I hope there's one name you're saying, because there's one name on my list. Yes, mate. I'm in Daniel Tice.
I saw this other day in the trade room. I was like, oh my god! I was like, oh, that's perfect,
mate. These 3 players are untouchable in my eyes. Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart. I'm going to turn around to Orlando and go, take 2 of them, whoever you want. Give us Vucic, we'll take it. I'm all over that. like he's a scorer. He's a big, like what he brings is a new dimension. Like what I would do, the first 5 minutes of the game, I'm giving it to Vucic where they have to start doubling, have to start thinking, and then when the ball gets swung out to Tatum and Brown, pick your poison with Brooklyn, but pick your poison with Boston. Like who are you giving? Like I want Tatum and Brown with the ball in their hands from an opposition. Straight up.
He fits so well with that team, right? So the only thing will be defense and stuff on that side on the bigs, but like we've got viable defenders on the bigs here. We can put Williams on, like he can block shots and stuff.
Both Williams boys. They both can defend big. Grant is a small man, but I've seen him defend some big players and do a decent job. And I agree that Williams, Tristan Thompson, what he did he's got a ring, but what he did there,
forgot about that one,
rebound and defend.
Forgot about that one. Wow. Yeah, Vucevic. Damn. I'm looking excited with my team, man. But that's it.
Mate, I'm looking forward. I really hope that's the same. I saw that and I got happy thinking like if they get that's nice. That's a nice fit. But we'll have to see what happens. All right, boys, thanks for coming on tonight. That's the first episode of the Classroom sort of over. We'll meet up again next week. Bring me your topics. We'll have a chat again there.
I'll bring some kicks of the week. See you later.
Yeah, we'll get a kick of the week in.
It's coming. See you later, boys.
Yeah, guys. Thank you.